prepared yet.
You need to try and pick off the units as... Look at the shields on the mark.
Oh my god, the drone's gonna take him!
Hello everybody, welcome back. We have game 2 for you guys between LaLush and Axslav. The map is Shakuris Plateau, and Axslav will be spawning as our red Protoss in the top right-hand corner. His opponent, LaLush, will be spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, and he will be our blue Zerg. Game 1 going to LaLush in a pretty stylish fashion there with a little roachling all in, just busting down the front door and
just busting down the front door.
Busting it down.
Like
Taking a real quick win, though.
Yeah.
Real quick win.
I think Axslav did everything he could have done in his power to defend that, but the roachling all-in is something that a lot of Zerg players have been incorporating in their playstyle as of lately, and I commend them for that because prior to discovering the effectiveness and the power of the roachling all-in, we didn't have anything, man. We had no kind of real legitimate opening game cheese and aggression besides, 6 pool or 7 pool. And now that Zergs have been doing a lot more, I think Protosses are getting really scared about expanding early on.
Yeah, the good old cancel hatchery roachling all in.
We're like the DEA, man. We bust down your doors.
I think the biggest mistake from Axslav right there was on that map, you can't leave a hole in your wall for the Zealot. Most Protoss players actually will fully wall off, and then they will bust down their own rocks to get out and create an opening. You never want to leave an opening, and that forced Axslav to use his force fields to try and plug that hole, and ultimately, LaLush was just able to run in with everything, and Axslav drops a pylon at the bottom of the ramp. It looks like he is going to go for some cannon cheese here, but LaLush all over this is bringing a probe out, and he is going to prevent that from getting fully walled off. Now, where's Axslav going to go with this? He has the pylon going down, but he's going to have to build so many cannons.
Well, the thing about this is the cannons are surprisingly good against a Zerg player if they go for hatch first, but it does look like LaLush went for the pool first, so I think he should be able to get Lings out in time, and I don't think Axslav will be able to do any damage at all with this cannon cheese.
This is not working out at all. Axslav is losing so much mining time here. He dropped that cannon. He's already going to be forced to cancel here, and we do have a queen and a couple Lings on the way out right now. No, LaLush is he was building drones that whole time because he knew there was no threat of taking any serious damage, so he queued up a few extra drones even, and now we do have 4 Zerglings on the way, so he's going to be able to kill that pylon, and he's also denying the Nexus here, so he's doing a great job.
Yeah, commendable job. A+ job, in fact. Kudos really to him for not overreacting, and now he will throw down that hatchery at the front door, and has at this point assumed that this is going to be a standard game with a bit of an edge for him because Axslav had to invest money into a pylon, and it is a canceled cannon, but it all delays that Nexus from going up that much quicker. And I question Axslav's motive there. I mean, he saw that LaLush wasn't going for the fast hatchery. He didn't go for the 14 hatch. And I feel like on a map like Shakuris Plateau, why not just, open up with a quick Nexus? Why go for this kind of cheese if your opponent isn't going to 14 hatch?
Well, I think the fact that he made it work against Destiny might have had something to do with it. Earlier on in the tournament, he did make this exact same build with the exact same positions on Shakuris work out for him, and he wasn't able to get the wall off against Destiny either. He just put up that single pylon, put up a few extra cannons, but I feel like Destiny's reaction was not as quick as LaLush. LaLush was all over it. He prevented the second cannon from going up. He pulled the proper amount of drones to kill that cannon as it was building, and I love this gas steal here from LaLush.
I always love gas stealing, man.
Yeah, gonna get that extra scouting information, and he's gonna deny any kind of quick Stargate tech, really any kind of quick tech from Axslav. He's not going to be able to...
Well, the thing is, of course, since Axslav does have the natural, he can get the assimilators down at the natural. But what I like about stealing the gas really early on is it kind of forces your opponent into that quick Nexus rather than going for any early buildings inside the main.
Yeah, like a 3-gate expo or even a 1-gate expo with sentries.
You can't 3-gate expo. And I don't really think most Protoss players do the 3-gate expo on this map simply because it's just a good map in general to open up with a quick Nexus. So You know what, P-User? I think at this point we're settling down a little bit of that that cheese that we saw in games 1 and almost saw cheese in game 2 has settled down. The cheese has deflated, and we are now in a state where it's the relative calm before the storm.
A state of trance, if you will.
State of trance.
We have slowed down here, and, neither player going to commit to anything too early on in this game. We do have a Stargate coming up from Axslav. Still no second gas, so he's not really going to be able to build too many Stargate units out of that.
Well,
there we go.
He's getting a second gas.
He's grabbing it right now. So
Yeah.
he just dropped... oh, no. Never mind. He did have a second gas. He's getting his third gas
Yep.
now. Okay, sorry about that. So he's getting his third gas now. Maybe wanted to get that third gas a little bit earlier. He's definitely going to have enough gas for that first Void Ray, but he's only going to be able to build a couple Phoenixes to follow that up. He really needs that third gas to get a ton of Stargate units out if he really wants to go down that route and do a lot of damage here. LaLush has grabbed an early third, which I think is a perfect response to a quick Stargate, and he's not teching up too fast. He's got his lair on the way now. Actually, that's a pretty quick lair.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you'll see players just use Evolution Chamber and Queens to hold off the Void Ray and the Phoenix.
Yeah, well, I think LaLush realizes that he's ahead in this game because of the early failed cheese, and he is getting that Evo Chamber despite the fact that he's gotten the hatchery down. So he's going to have lots of options here to hold off the Void Rays, and I honestly feel like Axslav's single Stargate here, his Void Rays will not be able to do much at all. Although he is chrono boosting out a second Void Ray, the first one has already revealed itself, so immediately we can see on the production tab 3 Spore Crawlers getting thrown down at every hatchery, and I honestly feel like, wow, 3 Spore Crawlers throwing down at the auxiliary hatchery, and I think the reason for that is because his creep spread hasn't connected a third to the NAT yet, so he really wants to make sure that outside expansion, while it is a loner, it will be safe.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a bit of an investment there. Yeah, I mean, 3 drones plus those 3 Spore Crawlers. That's a
Plus
huge
2
investment.
queens.
Yeah, plus 2 Queens as well. But he's pretty much ensuring the fact that Axslav's Stargate Harass will do 0 damage. That's what's most important for him right now. His natural and main are probably a little under-defended at this point. He is just banking on the fact that Axslav will hit that third location, but he did guess right. Yeah. And Axslav will be going there first with these 2 Void Rays, and they're going to immediately have to turn around here, and they're not really going to accomplish anything.
Yeah, I love how LaLush threw his Spore Crawlers in a triangular fashion, realizing that if his Void Rays are out, losing a creep tumor there, but realizing that if his Spore Crawlers were not placed in a triangular fashion, then the Void Rays would have a small opening to hit that hatchery. Sometimes Zerg players, they'll throw up all this anti-air and they forget that Void Rays still have a lot of range and they can reach from like the little outside edge.
Yep.
But now we do have
super
Hydras.
Frustrating.
It is kind of frustrating, man. You've dealt with Void Rays before.
Absolutely.
You know how frustrating they can be. It does look like those frustrating Void Rays are going to come in right now, and well, they might be able to get a queen here.
Yeah, Phoenix picks up the queen. The queen going into the deep red. It will go down, but Axslav committing quite a bit there. Is going to lose 2 Void Rays.
Goodness.
Beautiful micro right there from LaLush. Actually attacking the second Void Ray, which gave him an opportunity to actually kill both of them. I thought he was just going to pick off the low one, but beautiful move right there. Going to get both those Void Rays, and keep in mind, that's a huge investment from Axslav right there.
That's a huge investment, man. Those Void Rays are not cheap. They may be
not at all
the unit that gets you a little frustrated, but they are a unit that costs a lot for the Protoss. And Axslav, in response to seeing the Hydralisk, immediately throws down his robotic support base, so he will be going straight into Colossus. But the question now is, will he be able to hold off these Hydras, which it looks like LaLush may opt to go for some kind of maybe a Hydra bus at the front door. He has them moving across the middle of the map right now, and we'll see. He may just poke and prod, but I don't know if he'll commit.
Yeah, LaLush has a pretty good handle on things right now. Good control over the middle of the map. His third is fully up and running, but keep in mind, this is the old Shakuris. So he will be able to take that back rock third, which is, I know. Dude,
how do we not notice that, man?
Well,
we totally forgot.
I noticed. This map, though,
I forgot.
is one of those maps that the old Shakuris just really lends itself to Protoss. It's so easy to get that third base up, and then you only have 2 positions that you really need to defend, and you can continue to push and expand across the top of the map. And we have a few idle drones here from LaLush. He will get those mining shortly, though.
Get Kerrigan to crack the whip. Wha-cha! Back to work.
But anyway, it's so difficult for a Zerg player to to win on this map, I feel like. You'll see the Protoss player take that Backrock Expo, hunker down, tech up, get a ton of Colossus, Void Rays, continue to get those upgrades. He can even slow tech to High Templar. I mean, there's just so many things a Protoss player can do on this map, and it's very, very difficult, from what I've seen, for a Zerg to do damage.
Well,
like, where do you do damage? How do you find opportunities to do damage when they have that choke at the natural, which 2 sentries and 3 photon cannons can almost completely lock that down. And then they have the back choke if you want to come through the back rocks up top.
Yeah, and I can testify to that. It's very difficult for a Zerg to play well on the old Shakuras Plateau. It looks like LaLush will be making a poke here with his Hydralisk just to prod. I don't know if he'll decide to commit, realizing there are no forces at the front door. I don't know what Axslav is going to do here. He's losing some of his production buildings, falling back all of his units right now from the 3rd back to defend. It looks like he will take a couple of gateway losses, and the Hydras get out of there without losing any at all, except a couple right here. Gonna go down. So I think LaLush got a little bit out of that exchange.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that was well worth it.
He took out the Forge, a gateway, and then he left 3 Hydras behind to kill an additional 2 probes.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
yeah,
who cares?
And you were
I'll take
mentioning,
that.
yeah, and you were mentioning this map. It's very difficult for the Zerg to find avenues to attack, and you know, StarCraft 2 is so balanced in a way such that maps are the determining factor in what race has an advantage. So we both agree here that this map is advantageous for Protoss because they hunker down on 3 bases. Hard for Zerg to find openings, but I still commend LaLush for trying here. He's trying to attack the back rocks, attacking the front. It looks like we may have a big engagement here, though, Pain User.
Yep, it looks like Axslav is going to try and push to his eventual 4th. He might be trying to take this expansion as well, but I love how LaLush has expanded across the bottom of the map. So he's very aware of the fact that this is the old Shakuras, and he's expanding along a route that's going to make it difficult for Axslav to harass his 4th and 5th.
Yeah.
He's taking the 2 bases south of that Zelnaga, so you got to commend him for that. But here's what we were talking about before. It's so hard for the Zerg to find a window to do damage. Look at that choke. He's just sending all of his units through that choke. The Colossus are ripping them apart. 2 Colossus go down very quickly, but Axslav has more than enough Stalkers to clean this up, and LaLush will lose that entire army right there for virtually 2 Colossus kills.
Yeah.
Or he did kill all 3.
Although I think LaLush here may have come out not as bad as we may think, because he killed off all those Colossus, and now he's mass-producing Hydras, and the Hydras will be able to deal with these gateway units fairly easily. We'll see, though. It is certainly a precarious situation for him, but he did kill off all those Colossus. Keep in mind, if he can keep this hatchery alive, then I think he's going to be in a decent position. He's waiting for his Hydras to come out right now, Pain User.
Ooh, beautiful Blink Micro here from Axslav, killing a ton of units, and another Colossus joins the fray. But these Colossus are just going down so quickly to the mass Corruptors here. LaLush has more than enough Corruptors, and they are certainly doing their job. But he continues to lose so many resources invested in Hydras and Roaches to this giant Stalker Ball. And Axslav, now that he's secured this this position up top, he has a very, very solid position right now. He's on the high ground. He's outside of LaLush's 3rd. LaLush has actually pulled all of his drones out. He's only continuing to mine gas from here. And as Axslav works his way down into this 3rd, he's going to be able to do so much damage.
I absolutely agree. Axslav is in a pretty darn good position now. The tables have kind of flipped, if you will.
Yeah, he also has his 4th down.
He does have the 4th down there.
Right.
Interesting. That is a very hard to hold 4th for the Protoss, but the cannons will be able to definitely help. And here we have another engagement. The Corruptors coming in to vomit over those Stalkers, increasing the damage they take by a nice 20%. And the Hydras barreling their way upwards, but the Colossus is coming in, and that will force the all-out retreat from LaLush. And I think LaLush, you know, he was able to hold the hatchery and keep it alive, but that high ground advantage that Axslav has is proving to be a very formidable challenge for him, and I think that Axslav or LaLush may have his work cut out for him, man.
I totally agree. Axslav has a great position on the high ground, and he continues to fall back and get a beautiful surface area at the top of the ramp there, and we saw LaLush's units all getting jumbled up on the ramp right there, not able to get in there and do any effective damage. It looks like LaLush is actually going to go with a backstab here. He's going to leave his 3rd wide open, and he's headed over to kill Axslav's 4th. Axslav has 4 cannons down already, though, and he already has some stalkers waiting, so he's leaving his third wide open, and he's going to lose a ton of units trying to barrel up that ramp, and he looks to be a little bit unsure, pulling back right there, but his third's going to go down, and then Axslav is going to make his way over to the 4th. I don't know if this is LaLush's best opportunity here.
He may just be going for an all-out base race here as he plans to elevator his Hydralisk through the Overlord Pain User, and this is pretty much an all-out commitment to trade with the Protoss. But the thing is, if he can kill off all those gateways in the middle, he may have a shot here. But he's coming in.
So unlucky. Those 2 Colossus just spawned out of the Robos. I mean, the timing couldn't have been worse for LaLush right there. He's dropping Hydras off of creep, and 2 Colossus just spawned. So those 2 Colossus are just going to rip through all of these Hydras. There's no way they're going to do any damage. And Axslav, meanwhile, on the opposite side of the map, is wrecking havoc outside of LaLush's base, killing all of his reinforcements.
There we go.
There it is.
Yeah, very nice play. Calling the Corruptors back to deal with those Colossus, and now the Hydras can drop off unopposed. But in the middle of the map, Axslav still has a formidable army. Formidable, yeah. All right.
You're good.
Sometimes I get those aneurysms, man. It looks like Axslav has that army, and he will be able to push down to that pocket expansion unopposed. And both players here in a very interesting situation. I wonder who's going to come out ahead. It looks like more Corruptors falling back to deal with the Colossus. And at the end of the day, I feel like the reinforcements from Axslav will be able to slay these Hydras, and I don't think the drop has done enough damage.
But man, LaLush is getting so cost-effective with his army. He continues to kill Stalker after Stalker. That ball of Corruptors is just annihilating all of the Colossus. I mean, they continue to kill the Colossus. Axslav hasn't been able to get his Colossus numbers over 3, and he's working off of 2 Robos, so I don't understand how Axslav is still in this. From the side of things, LaLush has just been destroying him in terms of cost effectiveness. I feel like it's the map.
It's all about the map, man. I was going to say it. There are no areas where the Zerg can force his units in and do a lot of damage. Anywhere he goes, it's like you're trying to wiggle a fat man into a hallway. It just doesn't work, right? You can't do it. You can't squeeze it. You can lube it up all you want. It's just not going to happen. So, and especially, consider yourself trying to go down that hallway, staring down at a Colossus, man. It's scary, all right?
Keep talking.
You have some images.
Keep talking.
All right, we're gonna roll with it. Yeah.
Of course we're going to roll with it. That was hilarious. You just had me literally laughing. I couldn't continue. But here we go. Axslav now warping in a ton of Stalkers, and he's switching it over to a Void Ray composition here. He's now chrono boosting Void Rays out of that Stargate. And, LaLush down on drones right now, though.
Yep.
Axslav has done a great job chrono boosting probes out of all of his Nexuses,
it is
whatever
a
you want to call them. It's Nexi, it's official?
It is a Nexi, it's official.
All right, well, I will jot that in my little brain, and I will continue.
We're still
going
to call it
them
Nexuses, man.
Oh no, I always called them Nexi. I was just for all the haters.
I've always
out there.
called Colossuses Colossi, or I've always called Colossi Colossuses.
I always call them Colossi, man.
Oh really? I'm sorry, grammar police.
God.
Here we go, though.
So many Void Rays, so many Stalkers.
No, I know, man. But
blasting through the Corruptors right now.
I think LaLush may have enough Roaches and Hydras to break through this, but the force field's coming in clutch right there, and reinforcements, Stalkers, and Colossus as well. A beautiful defense once again by Axslav, despite his withering forces, despite the fact that he cannot get that almighty mega Protoss ball. The map proves to be a huge advantage for Axslav, and Axslav is able to hold.
And now, as we were saying before, it is so difficult for LaLush to bring it to Axslav. He continues to try and ferry units into the main, but keep in mind, then he's fighting off of creep. One thing he's not doing, though, is he's not using the Overlords to spawn creep in the main. That might actually help him out a lot next time he drops. You can spread them out, they can deploy their units, and then you can actually make a temporary creep spread with your Overlords in the base. He's not doing that, and the Hydras are just getting absolutely ripped apart by the Colossus. But Axslav is just able to play this super defensive style, weather the storm, deal with whatever LaLush throws at him, and then it seems like he comes out ahead no matter what, because LaLush isn't able to kill Expos. He's not able to get into the natural, and he's not able to do anything about the 4th and the top left because he's attacking up chokes into cannons. And now we're in a situation where Axslav has turned it around. He has tons of Void Rays, Colossus, he's building those high gas units. He still has 1,200 gas in the bank. And LaLush is straight broke. He's broke as a joke right now. He has no income.
He's got to borrow some money, some change on the streets in San Francisco, man. I still love both these players, and I have to commend Axslav for his game sense as well.
Oh, he's an amazing player.
Yeah, he's an amazing player. I mean, you can't take anything away from a player like Axslav. He played the map to its fullest advantage. Anytime, man. If you're in a tournament setting and you're gonna take every little advantage you get, and you're gonna exploit it to the maximum of your ability.
I mean,
I don't care.
two ways about
I don't
it.
care which way you swing it, man. There's $50,000 worth of money here. That's a lot of money. You take that home, you invest it, you buy yourself a nice car. Right?
It is indeed, and the name
maybe
of the
he
game.
can give some to LaLush because he's borrowing change outside right now in San Francisco.
And the name of the game here has been Axslav's resiliency, his ability to stay alive. LaLush has thrown everything in the book at him,
I will survive.
and he continues to weather the storm.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just not quitting. And he's eventually starved LaLush out here. LaLush is pretty much no longer mining. He has a couple Broodlords left, but this is really the last stand for LaLush here. These are his last two geysers that are fully mining gas, and as soon as he loses these Broodlords, he's going to be down and out. So he's really got to make something happen here. Axslav mining off of 4 bases healthily right now. He just took the bottom right. He has the top left as well. And he's probably going to take the bottom right natural pretty soon here. LaLush needs to do something, and he needs to do it now. He's sitting around, and every minute he wastes, he's getting further and further behind.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. It looks like Axslav or LaLush is kind of on the ER right now, and now hallucinations coming out from Axslav. Really wants to stick it to LaLush, and the hallucinations are going to be helpful in the battle because if LaLush doesn't have an overseer, he might attack the hallucinated units, wasting time on DPS. And I think here LaLush and Axslav are about to collide. A beautiful fungal right there, though. That was a great fungal, but those shields will recharge if LaLush cannot get some more fungals off, and he manages to get another fungal, increasing his chances of winning this battle. But here's the thing.
Fungals, another one
But here's
goes off.
the thing. Will he be able to reinforce in time? We have a massive battle here, and it looks really, really bad for LaLush.
Axslav blinks all of his stalkers into the fray, takes out all of the Broodlords.
Yeah.
And he is just gonna move over LaLush here, pushing on to his last expansion. LaLush fighting with everything he has. He hasn't left the game yet. He continues to try and hold on, but he no longer has the income to support playing out this game, and GG is called.
1A, 2A, 3A?
Indeed.
Oh, actually, no, it's StarCraft 2, 1A.
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 Just 1A.
1A, yeah. Beautiful play, though, by Axslav. I still commend him for his play style and using the map to his fullest advantage, and
also, what a great game. I mean, back and forth all game long, fighting over position. We went from fighting over position at the natural to fighting over position in the top left, then to the bottom right, and then eventually at LaLush's Pocket Expo, where the remainder of the game kind of concluded itself. But Axslav just doing a great job being in the right place at the right time and having his units where they needed to be. And I think that's what ultimately allowed him to win the game.
Absolutely. Well, guess what, Pain User?
What? We're going to game 3.
Yeah, we're going to game 3, man. That means you guys shouldn't go anywhere because we're going to have a conclusion here between Axslav and LaLush. And I'm willing to bet some StarCraft dollars it's going to be a pretty good game. All right, guys. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed this broadcast. Stay tuned. Game 3 is coming up next.